welcome to today's 5-minute meditation. I would invite you just to pause wherever you are. If you are seated, just allow your feet to rest on the ground, sit up nice and tall. If you are standing up, just find a place where you can find a little stillness, grounding through your feet, lifting up through your head, and feeling secure and grounded. And then as you gently begin to close your eyes, let's start with a few calming, deep breaths. So slowly breathing in through the nose, and then slowly exhaling through the nose. And slowly taking it in through your nose. And again, releasing it through the nose. One more slow, calming breath in. And a slow, releasing breath out. There's a quote from about almost 2,500 years ago from Lao Tzu, when he said, or he asked of us, do you have the patience to wait until your mud settles and your water becomes clear? And I think it is just amazing how nearly 2,500 years ago, he had the insight and the wisdom to ask a question that is still just as relevant today. We get so frustrated by the mud in our life, the suffering, the hardships, the difficulties, the disappointments, the things that annoy us, the things that cause us sorrow. And we want them to end so very quickly. But what he tells us is so important. The mud is there for a reason. And when things become still and calm, the mud will settle. It's when we keep this agitation on the surface of the pond or on the lake that the mud can't seem to settle. It's constantly just moving around, causing chaos and disruption. But if we can become still, learning to rest and just be within our mud, within our suffering, within our disappointment, within whatever those annoyances and frustrations are in our lives each day, if we can learn stillness like the surface of the water, the mud will settle. It will settle down on the bottom of this pond, and in our lives, it will begin to lessen its hold on our heart, on our mind, on our tomorrows. But the question sits with us. The question is not how long will it take. The question is, do we have the patience to wait? And it doesn't say in his question, do you have the patience to wait if the mud settles? But rather, do you have the patience to wait until the mud settles and the water becomes clear? Sometimes our mud is agitated and chaotic for long periods of time, and our patience grows weary. Other times, it's much shorter. But the lessons are the same for us through them all. Every single one of these situations is designed to teach us peace. Because it's through the path of peace that the mud will settle. And for our logical thinking human minds, that almost sounds contradictory. How can I have peace in the midst of chaos, in the midst of trauma or sorrow? But the great teachings from all of the great religions, all of the great teachers from the past tell us the only way through these sufferings, this mud, is peace. Peace within, which then ultimately brings peace around, peace through. So as you go through this day to day, whatever your mud looks like in your life, whatever it is that you're going through, and if you can't think of it right now, just hold on, because there's new mud coming. It's just part of this human existence. But just think about these words from Lao Tzu from about 400 BC when he asked us, do you have the patience to wait until your mud settles and your water becomes clear? And then he goes on to teach us that the way through it is peace. And that is what I wish for you today and in the days to come. Namaste.